Taylor Swift hid over 100 Easter eggs in the Fate of Ophelia music video.
So it's time to go on an Easter egg hunt.
Welcome to Hits Different.
He. I'm Ryan, and that's Molly.
This is all part of our Showgirl series. In our last episode, we gave our initial rankings of the album, which was literally impossible to do. I already know that Ryan and I are both going to have changes, so we're going to have to revisit it at some point, probably after we do our breakdown of each song, which is what we're going to be doing next. So we're going to dive more into the lyrics and the storytelling, give you our analysis of it, relate it to some lyrics back to other songs from Taylor's previous albums where we think there are some connections.
We're also going to have a segment called Tay Therapy, which for those of you who don't know what that is, it's when we talk about how Taylor's music affects us, impacts it's had in our life. And obviously this album just came out, but I'm sure that y'all have some stories of what these songs already mean to you, or what they remind you of in your own personal life. We will have a form in the description of this episode for you to submit your Tay Therapy for each song.
And we'll be starting with the Fate of Ophelia. So the music video is first up in this episode, and then the Fate of Ophelia song breakdown will be next. And thank you to everyone who shared your rankings of your songs, your Showgirl song rankings with us, because it was really fun to see how everyone thinks about the album and how many people just rank songs in such different ways. I feel like this album is really resonating with people, like different songs in different ways. And it's just really interesting to read everyone's opinions on it. So thanks for all of the love you guys have been sharing on our rankings video and sharing your own. And now we're going to play the Fate of Ophelia music video without any audio, just the visuals, and call out every Easter egg that Ryan and I have noticed. Taylor said that there were over 100 Easter eggs in this music video, so I'm sure that we've missed some. Please let us know what we've missed. This is a group project. Easter egg hunting is a group project.
Yes, and also a lot of these Easter eggs some of them are very obvious. They are what they are, what we found, and then some are theories that maybe we think why Taylor added these things in the video, but it's all just our own assumptions. So
our own interpretations.
Yeah.
And Taylor specifically said during the press cycle for The Life of a Showgirl that Easter eggs can mean many things, right? They can be a reference to past work. It can be a reference to current work. There could be Easter eggs that are predicting what's to come. So any of these things that we're bringing up could fall into any of those categories, which is one of the things that just makes it so fun to see Taylor's music videos and her promos for things in general, like the trailer for the Eras Tour docuseries that just came out has a bunch of Easter eggs in it too. Yeah. And if you want to see a video breaking that down, I broke it down the day it came out, and we'll link to that in the description of this episode. But for anyone who is listening on audio, this might be one of those episodes that you want to check out on YouTube or on Patreon. We will have links to this full video there in case you want to switch over, because seeing the visuals might help you, but otherwise we're going to talk you through it either way. So to start with the Fate of Ophelia music video, the very first thing that you see is that we're inside some sort of a grand looking hotel. And my personal favorite thing here is that there's an Eras Tour dancer, Sam, who is cleaning, he is vacuuming, and if the audio was playing, you would hear that he's listening to the song The Fate of Ophelia, like a different part of the song than actually where the music video is starting with the little prelude intro. And there's a cleaning cart behind him, which is a reference to Taylor coming in on a cleaning cart every night of the Eras Tour.
There's also in the banisters, the staircase, and the carpet, it says The Fate of Ophelia. In the background, there are some posters where there's a Wood poster for the song Wood from the album. There's a female rage poster. Someone had correlated that to the female rage poster could be like the era before Travis. It's like the past. It's also very tortured poets. Then you have Wood, which is the current era that we are in. There's also, interestingly enough, up by one of the chandeliers is a mural of Taylor, Max Martin, and Shellback. Would never have noticed that. Because it's them old timey, they don't look like
blends.
Yeah, it's black and white.
The actual painting of Ophelia is off to the right here next to the cleaning cart. So Literally just in this opening scene, the camera hasn't even moved yet. There's already so many Easter eggs, and I'm sure Ryan and I are missing some. So chime in with your thoughts. As we press play and continue on, the camera zooms into this painting that looks like a recreation of the painting of Ophelia, the Fate of Ophelia, when she drowns in the water. But you can tell immediately that it's a little different because it's Taylor freaking Swift pretending to be Ophelia, and she's notably not drowning. The water has not come up over her face.
Also, apparently, I didn't get the artist names, but the or the painting you just referenced, the actual of Ophelia, that's one artist, and then this painting, aka Taylor, is another painting of Ophelia from a different artist. So there's
I didn't know that.
it's still like based on a real painting. It's just different. I mean, it obviously makes sense, right? That Ophelia probably has a ton of paintings out there. Because Hamlet. I didn't get the artist name, so we'll keep saying this throughout the episode, but drop it in the comments if you know. Feel free to school us.
So as you start to realize this is Taylor, she comes to life. She sits up. An orange bird is about to fly across the screen, and then the live painting truly comes to life as she starts walking, and these Eras Tour dancers start to pop up as the cast and crew behind her in this live scene.
And it's really cool that starting right out the gate here, it's playing on the fact that this whole video is a scene set. Each scene is one shot, which Taylor talked about in the behind the scenes. And there's the Eras Tour dancers in this shot. They are dressed in the attire for the next scene as if they're getting ready. And it's giving Eras Tour, they were backstage, how they always had to change outfits and while Taylor was out singing, sometimes they'd be in the back, preparing for the next era. So that's really interesting.
A lot of the dancers, the male dancers, are dressed as the ship scene that we're going to see soon.
Yep.
And so are the vocalists. And I meant to call out exactly what you said before we even pressed play, which is just that Easter eggs aside, this music video is insane with the way it was shot, the direction, the set design. If you aren't familiar with what it takes to get something done in one shot like this with all these moving pieces, all these different people, this opening sequence especially, a lot of them are hard, but this one where there's all these things that make the painting look real and all these different points that people have to hit, it's crazy.
Which we will talk about a little bit later on, because Taylor has done music videos with one shot before, but it also, again, reminds me of the Eras Tour of how... I mean, the whole production of that, it's the same idea. And since a lot of this is correlating to her time in the Eras Tour, I mean, the whole album is as well. It's really cool.
Right. You got to get it right the first time because we're moving on to the next. Yeah.
There's also 12 Orange Stars, which, could represent her 12th album. She also teased the album drop with a bunch of stars. And there's some lifesavers.
Before we get to that one, because you're going to see that in a second, the one we see on screen here is the megaphone. She's saying, "I heard you calling on the megaphone," and someone is literally using a megaphone behind her. And then you see the stars right here that you were just talking about.
As you can see in this shot, over Taylor's shoulder, there are the 12 orange stars. So obviously that's very Life of a Showgirl, which, could represent the 12th album. All the stars that we've been seeing.
And then you see the vocalist behind her dressed for the next scene, like Ryan was referencing. And we continue to move into the next recreated painting, I guess you could call it. I don't know if this one is a reference to a specific painting. I didn't see anything that indicated that. What I did see was that there are multiple Easter eggs in this little frame here. So we've got the orange bird that I mentioned earlier, which flew through the frame, and now it's come back to land on Taylor's hand. And the orange bird, I think, is maybe my favorite Easter egg of the whole music video because you see it multiple times, and it's a Reputation reference, in my opinion. Because back in the Reputation era, in the Look What You Made Me Do music video, Taylor was dressed in all orange in a bird cage.
And it was in a prison jumpsuit. So not only was she in a cage as if she was being caged in jail, however you want to perceive it, but it's I love how she took that metaphor and turned it into the bird as well. It was once again, duplicitous. It was she was wearing an orange jumpsuit as in jail. And then, but also in a bird cage. So it was
in a
like,
birdcage. It was
yeah.
like the caged
And
songbird, and it was
swinging on the
orange.
little like swing that a bird would swing on.
Perch.
Perch, yeah.
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 And now the orange songbird is free. And obviously, orange is the main color of Life of a Showgirl, but I love the duplicitous callback to Rep, which was an era that used lots of hints of orange.
Right.
And now she's free. She has her music. She's a free
Yeah.
little songbird. She's no longer caged.
In this shot, you also see sourdough, which obviously we know now from the New Heights interview that sourdough is Taylor's jam. Well, I just did that, no pun
That was such a
intended.
good pun.
I did not mean to do that. Jam on some sourdough. Let's go. There's also pearls, which could be a reference to the lyric, took her pearls of wisdom, hung them from my neck, which is the Life of a Showgirl song. There's a peach, which is also a lyric from that song, sweeter than a peach. Then there's also a cat in the background that very much looks like Olivia, Taylor's cat.
She will always find a way to put a cat in her
She
music videos.
she mentioned in the BTS that apparently she baked that sourdough, and she was like, "Can my sourdough be in this video?" And they were like, "I mean, it's your video." And she was like, "Yes."
Right.
So that's her sourdough.
For anyone who is wondering what BTS means, because sometimes when we say that, we get this question. It means behind the scenes. And that information all came from the release party of a Showgirl that was in theaters on the release weekend of the Showgirl album. So if you didn't get to see that, we'll give you some of the intel as we're going through this that she said. And yeah, she was so funny when people told her she could have her bread in the video. It's like, girl, you are the director, producer, talent of this video. You can put in whatever you want.
Literally.
You want your bread there, it could be there. But it looks great. It looks yummy. And Ryan is starting her own sourdough journey.
I am. I know I've talked about this in past episodes, but it is happening. I've missed National Bread Day, but it's happening.
More on that to come on our socials at It Hits If Fun. Back to the Easter eggs. We'll continue on to the next. So the scene changes again, and Cam comes to hand Taylor a match during the line that I heard you were quite a pyro.
Which I had read that someone said potentially it's Cam handing her the match because, I mean, it was never like officially confirmed, but loosely confirmed that he was maybe the matchmaker for Taylor and Travis because his brother is on the Chiefs. And there were whispers about that. And so potentially he's handing her the match. And it's a play on that because it's talking about a lyric about being a pyro. And that could also play on the dynamite, reference to Travis as well. So I really like that. I like that theory.
TNT, Taylor and Travis.
Right.
Dynamite. Yeah.
There's also lifesavers in the background as well, which is another play on like what's to come. Just like it's like, oh, we will see those later in another scene, which is cool.
Yes. And an exit sign behind her. I also got the lyrics wrong already. I'm like, that's going to happen as I try to come up with them off the top of my head. The lyric is, as legend has it, you are quite the pyro. You light the match to watch it blow. I like this theory of Cam being the matchmaker, but I've also heard many other people claim to be the matchmaker. So who knows? Maybe someday Taylor and Travis will tell us.
I know. I'm like, why is
Andy
it so
Reid, for example? Yeah.
I mean, it is
and
weird
Cam's
that his brother
on the didn't
Chiefs.
Play on the, but he's not on the. Yeah, he used to be on the Chiefs.
Was he on it when they met? At the
time, he had just left the team. Like he had been traded or a new contract, whatever. I don't know the details. I'm sure someone will fill us in the comments. But his brother, I believe, did win a Super Bowl with Travis. So they're tight. Yeah.
Again, that is just our interpretation. We don't know. I like the theory though, so I'm just running with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we love the theory. I mean, we know that Cam and Travis definitely have some sort of a friendship. They like each other's stuff and Travis will comment on Cam's posts sometimes and whatever. Like they're definitely friends beyond just Cam being an Eras Tour dancer.
It could also be a play on the Eras Tour. He does the whole like ever bit for we're never getting back together. So it could be a play on that, when she holds the mic. Also, I referenced how Taylor's done music videos where she does one shot and We're Never Getting Back Together is one of those music videos. So it's, you never know.
I like that.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah. But
yeah, I know I already mentioned the exit sign, but the exit sign is going to come back into play. So just take that note. right now. As we continue on, the match lights, there's a fire breather behind her, and we're about to transition into the next scene, which these transitions are so cool to me because, again, we're going from a one take scene playing out into another scene, and these transitions are really cool. So Taylor's opening a door, and then that door ends up opening into a hallway, and we're in a totally new scene now.
Right. And she was the one opening the door, but then she pops out of another entryway, which is also kind of cool because it's like implying that each scene she's a different character. So, of course, if she was the one who opened the door, but now you're seeing her again, it's like, well, that's because she's a different character. So they're different people, which is like a cool little,
There are so many things to take in just in this initial frame of the hallway. First of all, Taylor is about to pop out in this red Marilyn Monroe style outfit. Her hair is clearly done in a Marilyn Monroe-esque way. And then on the wall, there are headshots of the Eras Tour cast, which could be a reference from Life of a Showgirl. Again, and at this point, we're on our third lyric reference to that song specifically, where she talks about the headshots on the wall in the lyrics of the Life of a Showgirl song with Sabrina.
Which makes sense because obviously it is the album title, track with the album title. So it's like a fun little nod to that.
Right. And the music video, as you guys will start to see, has all of these Easter eggs or references just to different showgirls throughout time. I don't know that you call Ophelia a showgirl that we started with in the opening scene.
Right.
She's obviously the concept. Ophelia is the concept for the song and for the album cover and many things, which we'll get to. But then the concept of the Life of a Showgirl, you said, being the album, the song, and then working into the first music video from this era. It's just like really cool that all of these different things can all tie together in this one video and it makes sense.
Also, the color scheme in this shot is orange and green, which are the colors of the album. So that's really cool. Just once again playing into the album as a whole.
So as we continue into the hallway, we see a bunch of the Eras Tour dancers that are in this dressing room getting ready for a show.
And if you direct your attention to the dancer on the left, who looks to be doing a very similar move to the vigilante dance, because these are also the same dancers who did that dance with her. And it's like, we have chairs, we're back. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the way she's sitting is very vigilante. And I never really thought about that. I mean, obviously, I think I saw the chairs and made the correlation. But then that move, it's like, all right, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. And in the release party of a Showgirl, I think Mandy Moore, the choreographer, says something like, oh, and we get to have another fun chair moment. So like they knew that they were bringing it back around. And I love that.
Right.
In the background of this dressing room shot, there's a freaking lot going on. The first thing that people clocked, I think, was this picture of Travis in the mirror. And this picture of Travis is from an interview that is very, very old, long before Taylor and Travis ever dated, where he was asked to play the game Marry, Kiss, or Kill. And in that interview, he said he would want to kiss Taylor Swift. If you remember in So High School, she worked that into a line. Are you going to marry, kiss, or kill me? It's just a game, but really, I'm betting on all three for us too, which is crazy that she put that on Tortured Poets. And now here we are in the Showgirl era and they're engaged. Like they are getting married.
I know
that she's
crazy.
Referencing all of that, which is this one photo in the background of this dressing room.
Dude, she's
shot.
a mastermind. That's also his dating show era. I think that was like around that time. So she has the lyric also in this song of I don't care where the hell you've been because now you're mine. And it's like once again a play on like, yeah, I know you were on a dating show. I don't care. I was definitely one of those people when they first started dating. I was like, he was on a dating show? And like, I don't know. It's like, she's like,
Catching and Kelsey.
She's like, I don't freaking care. That was a long time ago. There's also a black and white photo of Marjorie, who is her grandmother, who she obviously sings about in the song Marjorie. There's also a photo of Dita Von Teese, who was in the Bejeweled music video, another showgirl, if you will, who's wearing, actually, Taylor and her are wearing very similar outfits to this in the one-piece bodysuit. when they are in the champagne glasses. The clock that says 10:03, which was obviously the release date of The Life of a Showgirl. So that's a fun little nod.
Yep, I think I went past that already in this frame that we're in, but
It's okay.
there are many clocks in this whole music video. It's pretty funny. She stays using the clock theme long beyond midnights. And we see the fun chair dance play out that Ryan and I recreated. Again, it's on our socials and it's on YouTube Shorts if you want to go check it out at It Hit Stiff Pod. We had a lot of fun with that one, and people seem to really appreciate it, especially on YouTube, because YouTube commented on it.
That was very fun to play Taylor and us all like directed and produced that.
And it leads us into the next viral dance scene moment from this music video, which, I mean, it was the most TikTokable dance we could possibly ask for. They do this whole choreography that you have probably seen people doing all over the place.
Yeah.
In this scene. And there's a lot of Easter eggs in this scene itself too, just like there are with everything. For example, we're now in this nightclub and there's a band behind her, but it's her actual band. And the Eras Tour dancers continue to make appearances in every scene.
Also, her hairstyle and the dancers, or assuming could be like a part of like, you know, a little trio female group. There was a girl group from the 1970s called the Ronettes, and the hairstyle and outfits look very similar to that. It's definitely very 1970s. I remember watching it thinking about like ABBA. Someone also said it could be an homage to the musical Dreamgirls. And then I thought it was interesting because since Taylor likes often to, like, I think of the Fate of Ophelia like Fortnite, where we got a lot of Easter eggs about the whole album, and same thing with this one. And so it's like 1970s vibes. It feels like it's playing on maybe foreshadowing for some of the albums, like sound. Like you have the song Wood that sounds very much like the Jackson 5 song I Want You Back. And so it feels very like, you know, it's like this little scene is one blip of, you know, the musicality for like the whole album. It's also worth noting that her dress is designed by Roberto Cavalli. And if y'all don't know who that is, he was the icon who created the Rep bodysuit. The red one, the gold
Rep
one,
bodysuit.
all caps, the. Also, the 1989 outfits, which I love that connection because you have Max Martin and Shellback, who were the producers on 1989 and Rep. Just a fun little note that maybe even is just for her. But then when we find this stuff out, it's like, I see what you did there. And it's the Eras Tour. So it's a trifecta. The Eras Tour, 1989, and Rep. You're like, yes. And we will see another outfit by Roberto Cavalli of her in the ropes.
Taylor loves to use her favorite designers in these kinds of ways. And it's just so fun that she creates this whole, we call it like the Taylor Swift cinematic universe sometimes. Literally. And I feel like everyone plays a part in that, whether it's her band, now the Eras Tour dancers, her vocalists, her costume designers, the choreographer from the Eras Tour is now helping choreograph this music video. It's just not only the layers of the eras and her songwriting and building on different themes, but like everything else that encompasses that world. It's just so cool to see how she continues to like bring these teams back together.
Tay family is strong. She protects the family, you know?
She does protect the family. You're right. So we go from this scene where we get the fun, the land, the sea, the sky. Again, the viral dance moment that is sweeping the nation, the world. It's about to be the sleepless night you've been dreaming of. And we go to the sea in the next scene. This one I feel like is the one I'm going to need the most education from the audience on, because we got some notes, but I don't really know a whole lot about these topics. So I'll be curious to see if our listeners or viewers do know things about these topics. So we're all of a sudden we're in this ship scene is what we're calling it. And Taylor is now a redhead with this really pretty dress with a heart on the chest.
Which people clocked looks very, very, very similar to the Rep Stadium Tour jacket. People had discovered that this dress obviously has been designed in the recent times, but I still think it's a play on it. Literally, so if you look at the Rep Stadium Tour jacket, it's iconic. It has all the different patches. and there's a heart with these jagged, I don't know what you would call them, like exactly what you're
just like
seeing
pieces
here.
coming out of it.
Yeah. Like literally if you just took the heart and removed it from this dress, it literally looks exactly like the rep patch, which we love.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an Easter egg of all Easter eggs. It's like, okay. And it made me think of, it validated the fact that when I saw this ship, which you're going to see when it zooms out, I thought of the Rep Stadium tour because she's on a ship when she sings King of My Heart. And once again, if you play the heart, it's on her chest. And if you're playing into that, like it very much reminds me of the King of My Heart. Yeah, on the Rep Stadium tour.
Choreography.
Yeah, the choreography. They're on a ship. Why? I don't know. They're all like kind of pirates. She's wearing this like interesting outfit on the tour. So that was immediately where my head went. But then, per usual, it's also bigger than that because there's Shakespeare and Homer and other, authors.
Literary. Yeah,
references.
there's like Taylor's cinematic universe references like the Rep Stadium tour, and then there's literary references. And then there's just Eras Tour references. For example, Jan being on this rope ladder. Jan became TikTok famous for his ladder dance during Lavender Haze on the Eras Tour. He would get after it with that ladder. The ladder had the clouds at the top. It was a whole big visual part of Lavender Haze. And Jan rocked it every night. And there were many videos about it. And he plays off of these jokes now in his daily life. It's pretty funny. But the fact that Taylor put him on a rope ladder, I just love it so much. Thank you. Or Mandy Moore, whoever's idea it was. As the scene continues to play out, you find out that there are 6 dancers. Some people feel like the 6s that pop up throughout this music video could be a reference to the fact that Taylor did not own the first 6 albums. And now she does. She reclaimed her masters. That's awesome. Now, this is, I feel like, where the overall imagery itself of the literary references, like you can kind of start to take that all in at this point, too. Again, I don't know a whole lot about either of these things, so please fill us in on the lore. The scene overall is referencing the Sirens and Ulysses from 1837 and or Homer's Odyssey. I think maybe they're the same story. And again, fill us in, because when I was researching this, I felt a little lost, but Taylor's clearly trying to tell us something here.
Which is funny because like I remember out of all the literary stuff I had to endure in school, I always loved Homer's Odyssey, but I don't remember the story. But I do remember the Sirens. So
you do? Fill us in.
Oh, I don't know that much. I don't like that's where it ends. I mean, I also remember like from Homer's Odyssey, there's like Cyclops. There's like a lot of the Odyssey is like it's a big old book. There's a lot going on. So this is just like one blip from it. But like, so people have said that Taylor's backing vocalists you can see in the water. Initially, when I saw the music video, I thought they were mermaids, but they are likely sirens because like we just said, which I guess plays into the fact that like, I guess the story that we just referenced, allowing them to hear the sirens without succumbing to their deadly enchantment.
Yeah, I guess the sirens are a deadly thing. They sing and it.
So sirens are, so sirens they usually are kind of like versions of mermaids. They're like the sexy mermaids who sit on the rock, and they would call to ships in the night, to sailors, and to lure them in, and then the sailors would get lured in and then they would die, and so they would entrap them that way. So I do know about that, because if you call someone a siren, it's like that they are luring you in with their powers. And
interesting. I vaguely remember learning about sirens at some point, but I did not clock this reference initially. When I saw this scene initially, I was thinking of Peter Pan.
I mean, that
like,
too. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Taylor is Wendy and she's being forced to walk the plank. And Peter Pan like lies in to save her when all this is happening. Taylor has many other Peter Pan and Wendy references in her work. So that's what I first thought of. But clearly my Disney reference was not it. It's Shakespeare and beyond.
Fun fact, I've been called a siren before, so I also know the depths of the meaning.
It's personal.
Funny. People have also said, which feels like it's reaching, but people have referenced that her red hair could also be, and I mean, I think in all of these scenes, what we've noticed is that there's like 1,000 meanings. So it's not just one thing. But someone said it could also be a nod to like Florence and the Machine because she has the long, but I'm like, she doesn't fit into this album. But, obviously she was on the Eras tour. So if we want to reach there, Also, apparently Taylor's wearing an opalite-ish looking ring in this scene.
Love that.
That's it.
So she gets forced to walk the plank. And this part, again, I feel like there could be like many different meanings to it. Like Peter and Wendy, and that Peter is supposed to come to save Wendy. I think it could also be a reference to the fact that Taylor used to freaking dive into the water every night on the Eras tour after she played the surprise songs. And what was on the freaking surprise song piano? All these beautifully painted flowers that are kind of similar to the Ophelia painting. So she plays on the piano with the flowers, and then she dives into the water, which is where Ophelia drowned. And in this scene, Taylor's walking the plank and she goes into the water and no one comes to save her. The viewer is left to think that she's probably drowning, just like Ophelia.
But alas, she is not. Because, there she is. This scene has a lot going on.
A lot.
Every scene does. Out the gate, we see Taylor pops back up. She's like, I'm alive. And we see the lifesaver that we saw earlier in a few scenes back, which again was a play on like what was to come. So, the whole thing's a scene set. She's bringing it back. And this look out the gate, the color it couldn't be more 1989 coded. I mean, that blue, that's the 1989 blue, which, like we said, was
I agree.
The producers from that album. So it's just a cute little nod of being like, it's also very Opalite-esque, which is a nod to, a song off this album. So there's just so many meanings going on. And it also, those hands, those are all, once again, her dancers.
Yeah, there are extras in this scene too, in addition to the Eras Tour dancers, but the close-ups that you see are mostly her Eras Tour dancers. So the camera pans out to reveal this grand scene that is apparently a reference to the 1930s Busby Berkeley Footlight Parade, where they have a human waterfall
in the film. It also has been said that it could be a reference to Esther Williams' Bathing Beauty, which is another musical, which, as we've noted or noticed throughout this album, there are definitely a lot of songs with musical flair that we will talk about in our upcoming Showgirl series. Taylor definitely mixes in a lot of musical references and flair and parallels, and this whole music video is kind of playing into that with these references from other musicals and just how theatrical the whole album is as a whole. And so it's just like more fun little tie-ins. And we know Taylor knows the most. So who knows what inspired these things, but it could be a mix of everything we've said. Like she's just so like well-read and knowledgeable about this stuff. So we're learning so much as we go along.
And here's another 6 that I see, these bigger lifesavers in the background. There's 6 of them. Again, could be a nod to the 6 albums and just work with those albums that she now owns again.
There are also 47 people in the shot, which could be a reference to, once again, Ophelia, Act 4, Scene 7 of Hamlet, which is when Ophelia dies or drowns. A fun note before we hit play, where we will see this scene play out, is that in the BTS that Taylor talked about during the official release party of a Showgirl, she talks about, how she's going to go down those stairs, and they're like, how are you going to get down? And so, because again, everything is done in one take, it's like the camera distracts you and it pans over and, to the dancers, and you get a close up while Taylor is assumedly running down the stairs. And so by the time they pull out, there she is. But it's all done in one shot.
We press play and the camera comes over to this side.
And there she is. Boop. There she is. And this photo, I feel like the video doesn't do it justice, because when you saw the BTS shot, you're like, oh, wow. Like, those are stairs, Also, the stairs kind of, now I'm thinking about, remind me of a small play on the Look What You Made Me Do music video, where Taylor's up on the top of the stairs when it's the T, and all of her former versions are below on the stairs. Obviously, that's just like one part of it, because like, as we just said, it more so relates to all the other references we made, but still, there's another time where she was on stairs.
I don't know if I would even say those were stairs. I feel like it was like just like a mountain of Taylors.
True. I thought they were physical. I don't know.
It reminds me of the "This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things" performance from the Rep Stadium tour where they're,
Oh,
like, splashing around a fountain
I didn't even
towards
think
the
about
end.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they mashed that up with "We Are Never Getting Back Together."
Oh, I love that. That's
Mhm.
really funny. Oh, I love that. And also, we have the jacket here, which could be giving Karma jacket. Anytime we
Mhm.
see fuzzy jackets like that, we're like, it's Karma-ish.
And then as the shot pans out, you see more of the crew, and again, some of them are the Eras Tour dancers in the background. And then this fun transition comes in, which is like a movie take. I feel like there's a proper term for whatever this thing is called, but I don't know what it is. A thing that you clap and say, take one, take two, or in this case, take 100, keep it 100 on the
Clapperboard
land. A clapperboard. There we
or
go.
slate. Yeah. Clapperboard
Mm.
or film slate.
So there are many Easter eggs just in this little chalkboard writing on this clapperboard. Take 100 is Taylor's favorite numerology right now, I feel like, which is obviously keep it 100 on the land, the sea, the sky. Keep it 100. Where does that come from? Well, Travis's jersey number is 87. Taylor's favorite number is 13. 87 plus 13 equals 100. Keep it 100.
He also posted on his Instagram before we got the album and even knew it existed. Or no, I think we might have known it existed that time, but
No,
he
we didn't
no?
know.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, he posted a little carousel of photos and the caption was kept at 100. And
Mhm.
now looking back, it was like, what
That's
you
an
did
Easter
there.
egg. It was also one of my favorite parts of the New Heights episode that Taylor was on when they were talking about the numerology and Jason asked for an example or something and they were explaining keep it 100 and they said, "Yeah, don't you keep it 100, Jason?" And he goes, "I've been trying to." He just takes it like so seriously and he doesn't realize that they're just trolling because they were Easter egging us.
I
We didn't
know.
know that keep it 100 was going to be a lyric.
100 on the land.
The sea, the sky.
Sky.
Some more references on this slate is the phrase sequins are forever, which is a play on Elizabeth Taylor, which is the scene that we're about to see next will be Taylor imitating Elizabeth Taylor, and the sequins are forever is a reference to diamonds are forever.
It's also a lyric in, you guessed it, The Life of a Showgirl, once again.
And featuring Kitty Finlay is written here. Kitty Finlay is Taylor's mom's dog's name, Kitty. And if you watch Miss Americana, then you saw Kitty in Miss Americana. Finlay is Taylor's grandmother, Marjorie's last name, and apparently also the dog's last name.
And Kitty Finlay is an absurd name for a dog that is a Great Dane. A not small dog, like you would assume. Very large dog.
Very large dog named Kitty, which I feel like must have been Andrea just trolling Taylor. Like, I'm gonna get a dog and name it
I'm
Kitty.
gonna get the biggest dog to ever exist because
Yeah.
Taylor is more of a cat person. So her mom was like, "Whoops." I remember seeing the video from Miss Americana where the dog was on the plane on the plane with Taylor and Andrea, and it was just like, how this dog is very large.
So big. And we both have big dogs. I mean, your dog is way bigger than mine, but people consider my dogs to be big dogs. Kitty is in another world. Yeah, she looks so big. And I've buried the lead. Kitty is the name of the showgirl in The Life of a Showgirl. Hey, Kitty. That's like the main reference. The kitty being the dog is like the deeper Swiftie Zodiac Killer reference.
Right. If you know, you know.
So now we go into the Elizabeth Taylor scene where Taylor is now in this dark wig with violet eyeshadow that is clearly paying tribute to Elizabeth Taylor.
And I'm
Track two.
sorry, but I mean, she slayed in the red wig, but this look, my favorite. Girl, please go brunette immediately.
And in the Renette's one too, she has a dark wig on. This one is like even better for her though.
This is like her now with a little bit darker makeup and just dark hair because it has the bangs. It's very similar hairstyle. And we see her in this dress that is like made of ropes. And this is another Roberto Cavalli
masterpiece.
Yeah.
And if you are looking behind her, I remember when we saw the music video for the first time in theaters, Ryan and I were like, what's behind her? It looks like a periodic table or something. We need to look this up later.
It's not that serious.
Yeah, there's numbers 1 through 12 in these chalkboard squares. Number 6, RTF, ruin the friendship. Number 7, AR, actually romantic.
Yeah. It's like one of those, like, it's an Easter egg, but it's not that hard to decipher if you take 2 seconds. And, like, I was like, "I need to look at the periodic table immediately." And it was like, "No, you do not." People have said that her outfit and look could be a reference to when, I guess, Elizabeth Taylor acted in the movie Cleopatra, which makes sense because she very much looks like Cleopatra in this scene and less like Elizabeth Taylor, because Elizabeth Taylor had really short hair.
Yeah, that's cool. And then as the camera zooms out, you see more of the background, and there's a poster that says "Sequins are forever." Again, the same phrase we just saw on the chalkboard, and is a lyric from The Life of a Showgirl, and is a reference to "Diamonds are forever." And then if you zoom in on the fine print of the poster, it says like "The Life of a Showgirl" starring Taylor Swift featuring Sabrina Carpenter. It has the names Max and Shellback on that poster too. I also think that the ropes could be considered a metaphor for like being tied to the stage life, like tethered to it, because in the song "Life of a Showgirl," she says like, "And now I know the life of a showgirl and I'll never know another. The fate of Ophelia." Like, you think about fate, like Taylor was like destined for the stage life, and she's like literally tied to it. It's part of her.
I like that. And then also you'll see that she gets lifted up, being bogged down, then she gets lifted up because like the show must go on. And it's like, okay, like here we go.
Oh, on the background of that shot, I said in one of our live streams after we saw the movie that I thought it said Borchetta on the wall. It did not. It said "To stage left and orchestra." I was just seeing what I wanted to see there. It did not.
It did not. She ain't got time for that anymore. That would have been fun though. She's like, if you know, you know, and you know, we don't got to do all that. He doesn't deserve a place in this video.
So now we go into the second to last scene, which is this orange showgirl scene. And it feels very just like full on everything that we were getting in the album visuals. This orange bikini bejeweled thing with the full on freaking headpiece.
It's also very Eras Tour, very I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. Very like, because you have the fans make a comeback. It's like the Bejeweled music video and the Eras Tour combined. I Can Do It With Broken Heart. Funny enough, like I wonder if it's a play on the fact that we got, when Taylor showed us the behind the scenes, aka the music video for I Can Do It With Broken Heart, we saw the orange fans and it haunted us forever. And we were like, when will we see these? Are these a rep nod? And we never saw them. And now it's like, was this a Life of a Showgirl nod? Probably. And now we see the orange fans, we see the Luke, we see everything.
Yeah, they're definitely different orange fans, but to your point, it's like maybe they were orange in those BTS clips that we got as a nod to what was coming. I've seen different theories on what this is overall a reference to. I think the one that looked the most similar to me, if we're going to compare visuals, was a visual from Singin' in the Rain, where they're wearing feather headpieces and things like that as well. But definitely curious to know people's thoughts on what this is overall paying tribute to from Showgirl stuff, like a Vegas routine or something like that.
It's just very like quintessential Showgirl. You know, it's like you're ending it on like, yeah, this is what you would expect. This is what is represented. And yeah, in Vegas makes me think of that. Someone also said the orange feathers could be once again a tie back to that orange bird, which we will see one last time in the last scene.
Yes, this ending scene, there's a lot going on.
This is probably my favorite scene, I think. It's my favorite look. I mean, I love the Cleopatra Elizabeth Taylor, but the last scene is how Taylor looks the most like her.
Well, because I feel like that's the point, right?
I know, which I love. And she looks incredible. It's, there's so much going on. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite scene.
Yeah, I think the opening with the moving paintings and stuff is just so cool from a director standpoint, how hard it would be to hit all of your spots with all of that. But this scene is almost equal in how hard the timing of it all must have been. And then, yeah, to your point, we started with Ophelia not drowning, and then we've gone through all these different showgirls and all these different things. And now we've landed on the scene that's like Taylor as the showgirl. She looks so good, and I love everything that happens in the scene.
And it's cool because if you think about how I'd said earlier that if each scene is like another character playing, also it's like Taylor plays a lot of different characters. And so it's like as a showgirl, you have all of these masks. And then, yeah, to end on like her authentic self. This is the only time she's not wearing a wig in the whole video. This is her hair. And it's very her.
She's partying down this hallway, and here comes another exit sign. Let me know if I missed any, but I think there were 2, which I think was intentional because the double exit signs popped up in other ways outside of the music video and certain imagery and stuff for the album. I think that the double exit signs were manifesting the double announcement that we ended up getting after the album released, which is that we're going to close off this entire Eras Tour chapter with the Eras Tour docuseries and the final show, including the Tortured Poets set from Vancouver, coming to Disney+. So she'll exit the stage, and not only do we get the final performance, but we get the behind the scenes of the years that went into making the Eras Tour. And I think that's what the 2 exit signs have been standing for in all of these little exit sign Easter eggs.
I think it's also a play on like exit stage right, stage left, you know, so you're getting 2 things. You're once again tying it all back to the showgirl, to the scene set. So once again, there's many meanings. Her outfit here could also be duplicitous again. On one hand, it's giving very Midnights-esque of, you know, that little dress just reminds me of a little bit like Lavender Haze, a little bit like the Midnights in the Eras Tour. We obviously have the jacket again, which is very, very Karma jacket. It's also now, we know, a merch item, or it was. They were selling what looks just like that jacket on the merch store. And then people noted that the jacket that she's wearing looks very similar to what Blake Lively wears in Another Simple Favor. Like, very similar. And then also the dress looks very similar to a dress that Blake wore at the 2024 LACMA Gala, which interestingly enough, she's wearing a dress that looks very similar to this. And then on top of it, she has an orange cover up, like this big orange. It's not a jacket per se, but it's very, very similar. And obviously there have been rumors that canceled could be, you know, it's about Taylor's squad, Taylor's people. People have said it could be including Blake. So if we're talking about all the Easter eggs of album nods, that could be one of them. Is it reaching?
Yes.
I don't know, but I saw the photos and it looked really similar. So
I've seen some references of jewelry from the photo shoots for Showgirl, and I think the orange outfit that the scene we just came from, of things that Blake also has worn that it seemed like Taylor was wearing for this album in general. So that's interesting. I want to circle back to the jacket, though, because you're calling it the Karma jacket. I'm saying it's Lavender Haze jacket, which is 2 different jackets.
yeah,
So
you're right. Yeah.
the Lavender Haze jacket that Taylor wears in the beginning of the Eras Tour Midnights set is fuzzy like this one, whereas the Karma jacket is a little bit more like
tinsel,
shimmery. Yeah, tinsel-y.
yeah. You're right. Yeah, I interchanged them, which is my bad because they're similar, but not.
They're both like poofy jackets.
She called it the purple monster or whatever, I think, with Lavender Haze.
Yeah.
Like it's like a
so she wore
big old
one
jacket.
like that in the Lavender Haze music video. That's, to me, it's interesting that she's basically taking that same thing. And by the way, in the Lavender Haze music video, she also has a part where she's swimming in the water and just like her face is peeking up.
Yeah. There's flowers that grow up. Like, go back and watch the Lavender Haze music video because it's wild. And she looks the most Midnights. And we've talked about how the aesthetics of the photos from this album are very Midnights, except like if Midnights,
Different.
was like more happy and upbeat. So it's just really, this is very, very Midnights Taylor, which is like, in my opinion, and probably yours, one of her sexiest, most like on the nose looks.
Because this is like happy Midnights Taylor.
Right. It's less anxious. Yeah. It's like less anxious Midnights.
She's like, meet me at midnight. We're partying. Let's go.
Yeah.
And we'll get to some of the lyrical parallels between Ophelia and Lavender Haze next week, but just save all of this as a nugget in your brain for that episode. So moving on from the outfit, which is just freaking perfect, we see in the hallway a couple of different Easter eggs. So Natalie, one of the dancers, is holding a purse with a little dog in it, which, could be a reference to actually romantic, a toy chihuahua barking at me from a tiny purse.
I bet you every song is referenced in this music video, like Easter egg wise.
Probably.
We just we've only named a few. So
Mhm.
yeah.
That's so true. The part that made me literally gasp and cheer in the theaters when we saw it for the first time, Taylor is about to catch that freaking football. It was so good. Your team, your vibes, and she's catching the football. Then she walks through the door frame, and there's a little 87 right on the door there.
Throwing it back to the New Heights, that New Heights episode where Travis is going on and on about how Taylor's an athlete and she's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, babe, come on. Was that in part due to this music video? I mean,
He's
obviously
like,
we
oh,
know
she's caught a football before. And
yeah,
Taylor's like, no,
right.
I haven't. And he's like, yes, you have.
And she's like, no, I haven't. But it's like, that's an Easter egg spoiler that we would never in a million years would have even thought, like, is she going to be catching a football in her next album? It's like, no. But in her head, she's like, please be quiet.
Yeah, I thought when we were watching that play out originally, before we ever knew about this, I just assumed she was being like, that didn't count or something like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, like you threw me the football, but it doesn't count as me catching a football. But it's like, no, she had to catch a football in this one take moving shot scene while she's literally being pushed on a cart. She's singing just to think about all these different things. She freaking crushed.
She shows a few of those shots in the BTS, and I think it didn't take her very many takes to get it.
So now we're transitioning from the hallway into this hotel room party.
This is probably my favorite part. So this is, we mentioned earlier, this is We Are Never Getting Back Together. Go watch that music video. A lot of that video is done in one shot. There's a scene where chaos is ensuing. There's costumes. All the stuff is going on. And it is very much like it's the younger version of this. Someone also notes that in that music video, it goes from like the chaos scene like this into where Taylor's like sitting in the window. And in this shot, we see an open window, but there's like paps outside, paparazzi. So it like, that's what forces her to have to go into the bathroom, which is like the final like scene coming up. So that was like an interesting play on that.
In this scene is the entire Era's family. She's got her band as the bellhops. She's got the backing vocalist. She's got the Era's tour dancers, and they're all doing different things.
And the fact that this was all done in one take,
One take.
So it's like all of this had to be done and then do it again.
So Taylor's feeling herself. She's dancing. And then, like Ryan was saying, there's paparazzi in the window. So she realizes like, oh no, they're taking photos of me. I'm going to run away. And this brings full circle my favorite Easter egg of the orange bird. You see the orange bird fly out of the window. I remember when we saw the release party movie the first time, I noticed the orange bird earlier on and was like, oh, that's interesting, the orange bird, I feel like that reminds me of something. And then they play the music video twice in the release party footage so that you've kind of seen all these the behind the scenes of it being made, and then you get to see it again. And on that second time, I noticed the orange bird flying out the window here, and I was like, oh my gosh. Some people also think that that could be Vancouver in the background.
Because there's a Ferris wheel in the shot, which I guess is, there's a famous one in Vancouver. So it's like a little play on that because, we didn't know at the time, but it's like, where's the key? Oh, we lost it in Vancouver, aka what we now know as the final Eras Tour movie with the Tortured Poets set. At the time, technically, this was foreshadowing what was to come. Same thing with the exit signs,
Then the camera whips around and we're in the bathroom. Clearly, there's an Oscar on the bathroom floor. There's an opal stone on the bathtub, and then there's our showgirl Taylor in the bathtub.
And so you have the wish list reference with the Oscar, and that makes me think, because it's on the bathroom floor and it's not standing, I'm like, is that the reference to the New Heights episode or the New Heights interview?
The Lombardi Trophy.
Where the Lombardi Trophy was on its side, and we're all tripping thinking it's the Super Bowl, the 47, and all the nonsense that like we make ourselves believe when we don't know what we now know. And it's like, is it possible that was a long-standing Easter egg for now what we're seeing in the music video of like the Oscar is not just standing, it's on its side. And because it would have been very weird. Why would Travis have an Oscar? So of course, what's his equivalent? Lombardi Trophy. So that's also really interesting. It's also interesting because Taylor's not an actress per se, but she also clearly is. And so it's interesting of like the Lombardi Trophy is what you get when you win the Super Bowl. Technically, a Grammy would be more applicable in this case, but she's like, nah, I'm a director. I'm an actress. I'm in theater now, like musical, the whole thing. It's like a cool like play on that too.
Totally agree. Oh, I think someday she's going to be trying to get that EGOT.
Oh,
and
for sure.
I'm here for it.
For
yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So the scene itself ends with a recreation of the album cover, which I have behind me.
And here.
Yes.
My little
So it's
CD.
not the actual photo. It's a recreation of it. I think the shoot for the album cover was different, but she's wearing the same thing, given a similar look. And it took me probably way too long to make this connection that Taylor's like saying that she, as the showgirl, could have drowned like with the water around her. It's like the fate of Ophelia, like drowning in a river. It makes so much sense for that time. But think about like a tragic showgirl's fate of like drowning in the bathtub while a party's going on outside. You know what I mean? Like that,
Kinda
for whatever
dark,
reason, like seeing it in a
sure.
music video, like took me to that dark place. But the
I
whole
never
point
thought
is
about
that
that,
she's
yeah.
saved from the fate of Ophelia. She doesn't drown. I think the reason I never thought about it that way when we just saw the album cover is because Taylor in the New Heights episode said, like, this is me like in the ice bath after a show. So I didn't go to that type of a dark place with it.
Right. Yeah.
But seeing
Taylor's
it in this
always
context kind of made me
duplicitous.
do that. Yeah.
We love duplicity. And so, yeah. And I think that in the trailer for the docuseries, doesn't she once again talk about like after the show, like references that. So it's like, I'm very excited to get more insight into that. The docuseries is going to be great because we just want to know what the heck went on to make the magic happen. And it's also, the outfit is very similar to, the last era on the Eras tour was Midnight's. And so this outfit is kind of like what she would end the show in. Obviously, it's a lot more see-through, but it's like she would end the show in her little bodysuit and then leave. And so I like the play on that too. It also is giving very, if you want to tie it back to Reputation, in the bathtub with the jeweled out outfit and laying in the bath of jewels. It's like there's so many like meanings that you could apply to this too.
Mm-hmm. And the dress, to tie it all together, when Taylor announced Midnight, she was wearing a sparkly dress that everyone thought was a nod to the Look What You Made Me Do music video scene that you were referencing, but it ended up being that she announced Midnights, and then she goes on in the Midnights part of the Eras tour to wear all these bejeweled outfits.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it just all builds on each other.
It's the Tay cinematic universe, like you said. It's like, It's so crazy because you could just watch this for what it is and be like, wow, that was a really good music video. But then if you know the lore, which is what we're here to explain, it's like, whoa, the parallels are crazy.
It's awesome. So that's all the Easter eggs
That's
that we found.
And that is probably also why Molly and I have said that this is potentially our favorite music video that she has ever done, because what even is all of that? And like, there's, even if you don't care what the heck's going on, just from a director's standpoint, from a film standpoint, it is just a very, very well done music video. And Taylor takes a lot of pride in her music videos since she's been directing them. I feel like since the second to this, I would probably say like the All Too Well 10-minute version, because that was a whole short film, which isn't fair to compare, but that's like, that would be second for me. Like those two are like the same, the amount of production and like work that went into it.
If you're going off of ones that Taylor's directed, I think you're on point. It's so hard. The Look What You Made Me Do music video has been my favorite for so long. That
she didn't direct that, right? No,
she started directing them more during Lover. Yeah,
right.
like
I mean, The Man too is like
The Man. I was thinking of that too, because the reveal that The Man has been Taylor all along is so cool. But everything that had to go into this, not only the storytelling of it, but the including of all of the Eras Tour family, the one-shot takes, the set design, like the costumes, how it encompasses the entire album in one music video. I think it has to be my favorite.
And it's cool because she had said that The Life of a Showgirl is, again, it's parallel with the Eras Tour and her life, behind the scenes of the Eras Tour. And it's like this music video feels like the perfect representation. It has her whole squad. It has
grand production of it all.
yeah, like the grandeur of the Eras Tour is this music video. You're like, there is a lot going on. You are doing the most like the Eras Tour.
You're putting on a show.
All the different scenes, constant outfit changes, constant, you know, it's so cool. And then all these, what we just talked about, all the little tiny Easter eggs. It's just wild. Her brain is insane. Like Loki. I don't even know. I don't even know. How does one even map this out? You know?
She said that it took about 3 weeks to rehearse everything too. So that's not just the choreography, which the choreography in itself for every scene, especially the dance scenes, is hard. I mean, hard for us. I'm sure for the professional dancers, it's easy. But Ryan and I trying to learn just a couple bars of each of the dance scenes took us a little bit. But pile on top of that, all the other choreography. And then again, having to hit these certain marks and the timing of everything that's moving in the background with the cameras, it's just wild. And the fact that they're not even playing the song out loud.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. She really flexed all of her skills. And yeah, this video deserves an award.
It'll be really interesting to see the fact that she didn't qualify. Like Showgirl and this music video all came out after the Grammy submissions closed. So when any of this stuff goes up for like the major awards, it's going to be almost like over a year and a half later, which is really interesting. But the VMAs, for example, like this should qualify for the VMAs for next year.
Right.
So.
But it's still going to feel like a lifetime. I mean, it's still going to be living in our head rent free, but like it's interesting because we talked about this extensively before, like when we didn't know what the album release date would be or if she would drop a single beforehand. And it's like, it's kind of wild that this album is what it is and this video is what it is. And like she wanted to risk it, I guess, if you would say, a year later, you know? It's like, but we don't know what's coming out the next year. I mean, it's not going to be better than Taylor. I'm not biased. That's just what I think. But still.
Yeah. Maybe she knew that the album and everything would need time for people to appreciate because some of the initial reaction to the album has been mixed. And maybe she knew I need to let this simmer, like Reputation, for people to really fully absorb it. So it'll be better. People will have a better picture of it a year later rather than in the immediate. Maybe that was like part of it.
True.
Or maybe she just wanted the Taylor Swift fatigue from award shows to like have a year of a palate cleanser where she's not up for anything and then they can give her a fair shot.
Especially because she's not going on tour anytime soon, as she said.
So that was our breakdown of the Fate of Ophelia music video. We want to hear what we missed. If there's anything we got wrong, let us know. Share it in the comments. If you're not watching on YouTube, on Spotify, you can comment on episodes as well. You can come comment on our social media pages on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, any of those, and share your thoughts with us. We love this music video and we can't wait to hear all of your thoughts. And we especially cannot wait to dive into the actual song, The Fate of Ophelia, next week. So send in your submissions for Tate Therapy. Let us know if you can relate to the song The Fate of Ophelia in any way, or just start getting ahead with your submissions for any other songs on the Showgirl album. We cannot wait to break down all of these songs with you.
Also, if there are any English teachers out there or literary girlies or guys, school us. Let us know.
Let us know what Hamlet references are in the song that we don't know
Odyssey,
about. And all of these things that we should include in our Fate of Ophelia song breakdown. And if you are looking for any extra content, you can go check out our Patreon. Alex has some videos there. If you're a Chiefs fan and want to go check that out, he is breaking down every single game after it happens and previewing the next game. He's got some fun drawings with X's and O's. He's playing some of the clips from New Heights of what they talk about with the games and pairing it with the plays. So if you're interested in any of that, go check that out on our Patreon. And thank you for watching and for listening. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.